Hey guys, welcome to the Fergie Time podcast. I'm your host, Aiden Ferguson.
Yeah! Let's go, baby!
And today we have a lot of special guests on. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Will.
My name's Henry.
Taiyo.
Graham.
And today we're going to talk about Bryce Harper's upcoming contract, Manny Machado's upcoming contract, the Lakers' young players, a potential trade for the Anthony Davis by the Lakers, the Knicks and KD possibly signing there in the summer, and then finally an early MVP voting for the NBA. So, let's start off with the Bryce Harper contract. What do you guys think?
Where do you think he's going?
I think Philly has to sign him.
You think Philly? I was thinking Dodgers.
I think Dodgers because of the trade.
Because they traded Kemp
Yeah,
and Puig.
I think the Dodgers, just because he's like easy to market, like he's a player that attracts like a lot of attention and stuff, and everyone's like, oh, rah rah about Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like the money, he's not worth the money. Like,
He had a down year for sure, but he's put up better numbers than people think.
so Graham, what do you think?
Alright. Here's what I think. I think either Machado or Harper have to go to the Phillies, and I think the Phillies have a lot of pressure on them right now to make a big move. They have a lot of money to spend, and they have a lot of young talent.
And at least is going to be something.
Yeah,
If the Mets can sign a few more, and the Nats are looking alright, and the Braves.
I just think the Dodgers have to know something if they're gonna make that trade. I feel like they have a strong.
Not only did they make outfield space, they also got rid of some payroll.
Would you rather get Harper or Machado though if you're the Dodgers?
I'd rather get Harper.
Yeah.
They have Seager coming
They've
back.
already
Seager's
had
Seager's
Machado.
projected
It didn't
to
work
do well.
out.
Yeah. Well, do you think if the Dodgers get Harper, do you think they'll win the?
No.
No, you don't think they'll win the World Series next year?
Nope.
I don't think their team has a World Series in them.
What about to the Nats? Do you
He's
think
not
that's
coming back.
possible?
He's not going.
They offered him 10 years for $300 million. He said no.
Apparently his agent Scott Boras is trying to get him somewhere for like 10 years, $400 million. That's mad. That's mad.
I don't think if I was a team, I wouldn't sign him to a longer contract. Like I'd give him the big money.
I think 7 years is max what I'd give.
I wouldn't.
I would give 6. I would give 6.
He's only 26.
I'd
go like
5.
I'd go like 5.
I'd give 5.
You don't what his potential is, but he hasn't played up to it the last couple of years.
After
He
30,
needs to prove himself.
After 30, he's only going downhill too.
Yeah, maybe
he's not
work out an
gonna-
extension from there.
2019 he'll be 26, and his best season by far is in his age 22 year, and he hasn't been close to that recently, but I don't know.
Alright, but think about it. Think about the 3 teams. I think there's 3 big teams that have pressure to sign someone, which is the Dodgers, who've lost 2 World Series in a row. Philly, who it's about time they make a move.
They were good last year, then they just tanked second half.
And then I just said Dodgers. Who's the third team?
You said just to the Phillies, right?
The Yankees. The
Yeah.
Yankees. The Yankees is the other team where it's like it's
can
New
see-
York, dude. Like
I can
you
see
gotta.
Machado going to
I
the
think
Yankees.
I would bet money right now. That's who I think Machado's going to.
But the thing is, one team that's been thrown in the mix a lot is the White Sox, which I don't understand
understand.
why. They're like a pretty
White Sox-
shit team. Like
They just have a lot of money and they have a lot of young
What's
talent.
going on in
yeah,
the AL
yeah.
Central? Are the Indians rebuilding or not?
The Indians look like they're blowing.
They
it up.
don't even need. They could still win the Central in a rebuilding year.
The Twins just got Nelson Cruz.
Dude, they
Are
lost Chief.
contending?
They're starting over.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rebuilding phase.
They could be a 500 team and win.
Yeah, that division
That's
is
a
worse
weird.
than baseball.
That's a weird division because they're trying to get rid of all their guys. Well,
Yeah.
at least a lot of their good guys, and they're still probably gonna be the favorites.
With
by
like
far
Farmer
in
and
the division.
Bauer potentially being dealt.
Yeah.
They won't deal both of them though.
No. But
So think about it. They got Clevenger and 1 ace. Because I think both of those guys are aces.
Those guys are ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So, who do you guys think? Like, what kind of money would you give Harper if you were at like an organization?
I think high 20s a year is good.
High
For
20s?
5 years.
I give him 5 years. I give him $30 million.
Would you give him?
I feel like that's what you can bring to your franchise.
Do you think? Would you give him 5 for 150 then?
30 million.
Yeah, you would do that.
I give him that.
And then like a 6-year option or just straight up 5 years.
I just see how he does first couple years, try to work out an extension.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think he'll get though? Because teams are obviously gonna overbid for him. Like
I don't think so.
You don't think
he's
so?
a franchise player.
But dude,
the
he's
Nats
still
just
sitting
offered
around.
him 10 for 300. You don't think someone will go above that?
I think 30 million a
I
year
think
is about what
I
it's
could see
gonna
him
be.
getting more than 30 million a year. I don't see him getting 10 years more.
Yeah.
than 30
He's
million
not
a year.
getting that long. He's not getting that long for that.
Well,
for
the
that.
thing
I
is,
don't think.
is he even a top? Would you say he's a top 10 player in the MLB?
Top 10.
I mean,
Top
if we're
10
going
talent.
last year, if we're
Yeah,
going
if we're off last year, then no.
No.
no way. But
He's good,
the
he's
scary
not top 10.
the scary thing with him is injuries, dude. Like he hasn't had that many complete seasons.
Well, he's had. Let's see. Looking at it right now, he's played over 150 games twice. 147 once. So yeah,
But that's the thing with Machado. He's way more durable.
Machado, yeah.
But
And also, Machado plays a more valuable position.
yeah,
Like, he's not a great shortstop, but he can play third base, too.
They should move him to third.
They should move him to third.
But
If the Yankees get him too,
he's not going to third.
but you can balance Didi and Tulo.
Didi's out for the year.
that's why they got Tua.
Yeah, well,
Tulo, he's 34. He hasn't played.
But
he hasn't been good.
I would
since
start
his
with-
second
But think
time
about
in
it.
Colorado.
If you a signing like that, a 1-year minimum deal
Yeah.
is for the younger
I think it's a
guys.
good deal,
Yeah.
but I
They
don't.
have 2 guys who almost won Rookie of the Year
Like
last
Andy
year,
Martinez,
both
yeah.
infielders. That's clearly a deal to try to get them.
I agree that it was a good deal for them, but
Yeah.
I don't think that they should be trying to win a World Series with Tulowitzki as their starting shortstop.
oh, I agree with that. But
Yeah, I didn't know. I was not sure how long Didi was out for. It's the whole
I
year.
think
Is
it's
it the
whole
year? Here, I'll look at it.
He's
up.
definitely starting the year out.
Yeah, I
But-
know he was starting the year out, but
If they get Machado, they could potentially, they could go Torres at short, Machado at third, and they could try to move Andujar
yeah, I mean
because
he
he
he's
had a
not
good year.
he's not good defensively.
He
at
can't
all.
play defense, and they can't put him at first because they're 40.
Yeah.
And they have Greg Bird too.
And
Right?
then Greg Bird, yeah,
He's going under Tommy John.
yeah, he's out for the year then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bunch
Wasn't
of
he out with a
injuries last
leg
year.
injury or like a
He had a
injury?
wrist, I thought.
I thought. Oh yeah,
But
it was wrist.
For the Yankees, though, this is going to be more than a 1-year move
From
for
Machado.
whoever they get. Like in terms of
They're not.
they're building like a team that's
Yankees
going to
have-
be
yeah.
competitive for years down the road. It's not going
They
to be
have
like
a good
oh.
pull right
They
now.
have
Yeah.
pieces for that.
I
can
mean, if
last
you have,
a
Like
while.
Judge is what 26.
If
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
Didi
Actually, you might be over
at
that.
shortstop and then you have
If you're left
Machado
side,
at
Didi
third,
and Machado,
yeah, that's so much power. Didi had, it says here, he had 27 home runs last year.
Yeah.
And then with adding
he had
Machado
he had a
there,
career year.
And that's a very important position.
yeah.
Yeah,
To
if you get
production out of
20
that,
plus homers from your
Yeah.
shortstop who plays solid defense,
Yeah.
he's a good defensive player.
like Didi
too.
could probably make more money. I don't know what his current contract is, but he's worth a lot in my eyes.
So would you guys give more money to Machado or Harper?
I feel like Harper's a bigger. Yeah, I think he can bring more money to your team.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a better player right now. I think he also has better potential.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
Harper. That's why Harper fits so well in LA is because everyone like if you don't watch baseball, everyone's heard of Bryce Harper somehow. Like in terms of Machado's also hard to market because of his kind of attitude, his lazy attitude. He's just not like a necessarily the most likable guy.
Yeah.
Whereas Harper, everyone like sees him as like I guess baseball's like star boy or whatever.
Yeah, but he's also very polarizing.
Yeah,
in the sense that you like hate him or love him. I mean, he's had issues with hustling and running out balls in the
Yeah.
past. He's had problems with teammates. He doesn't seem like a good clubhouse guy. I don't
That's
think.
true.
That's the thing with both of them. Is like they're not these. It's not like Mike Trout where it's America's sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like 320 every year and 30 plus every year. He's had a lot of down years, and it's like you're paying him and hoping that you get MVP Harper or MVP Harper for at
Yeah.
least like 2 or 3 years.
He's not going to return to his 2015 season.
That was
But,
insane.
Yeah, that was one of the better seasons of the century, like as a player.
Yep.
But his projections are so he's projected to do better this year than he did last year. And he's still, again, this will be his age 26 season. He's not even in his prime yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, it scares me that he's always had like the same problem. Like he's been pulling off balls for like the past 2 years, and like everybody knows what it's hard when everybody knows what you're doing wrong and you still can't fix it.
That's
Like,
the
that
thing.
worries me.
Yeah, but the other thing is like, he's only had 1 year at 100 RBIs. Like he had 199 years, so I'll give him 100. But other than that, the closest he's gotten is like high 80s, and that's like if you're an outfielder, like your job is to hit. I mean, there's a couple guys who are known for their gloves, but you stick the guy who can't play infield, who can hit in the outfield.
And he's not a star defensively.
Has
He's
he
not a star
produced in the
defenseman.
playoffs either? Has Harper really produced in the
He had a
playoffs?
couple
In the
of
first
runs.
round.
Yeah,
But he isn't. I feel like
in the playoffs.
with someone of that caliber, I mean, obviously it's a little different because there's so many people on a baseball team. But I feel like you should be able to carry them.
But then what are you saying about Mike Trout?
Yeah, that's
who's
true.
got one playoff series and
Yeah,
didn't he get swept?
I don't believe in all that.
You don't think so?
That's a basketball thing.
That is definitely a basketball thing.
Same. You can't say that about football or baseball. I don't think.
Yeah.
So do you think if Harper were to go to the Yankees, do you think he'd have a ring by the end of his time there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
The
agree.
Yankees, this is like obviously not like they're going to win this year, but I was reading some article and it said the Yankees since the Babe Ruth deal have not gone a whole decade without winning a World Series.
That's crazy.
And this is year 10.
They're gonna. If they get Machado or Harper, I think they're in. Like I think it's really like high likelihood within the next 5 years that they win
Yeah,
for sure.
I think they're gonna win too.
I think they could win too if
But
they get one of them.
Yeah, and they don't. Like, if you think they don't need Harper, their outfield's
Yeah.
stacked.
They
They
don't.
already have
But,
Judge.
yeah,
Machado's the
Sorry,
perfect.
Stan DJ, yeah.
Machado's the perfect fit for them.
Yeah, I think they want Machado more than they want Harper.
Yeah, they're like people are like Harper can play first, but they already have 2 first basemen, and Harper's never played first before. So I don't
Yeah,
think.
you can't put Harper first.
I-
Not with the guys they have at first.
And yeah, and he's not. And like in their outfield, obviously he's better than some of their outfielders, but he's not gonna. I don't think it's worth it to pay him.
No, dude, I didn't even like the Stanton trade, honestly. Like that, I saw that tank year coming, and I mean his tank year is a career year for a lot of people, but like that I don't like that deal for them. Like it's a big market guy, or it's a big market team, and the guy before you played for the Marlins. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just such a big switch.
Yeah,
and
he
he didn't adjust to it well at all.
He doesn't strike me as a New York guy.
Didn't he have a couple like 5 or 6 strikeout games?
He had a lot.
That's
He
insane.
had a lot of 5 strikeout games.
So last year, yeah, 30% of the time he struck out.
That's insane.
That's high.
What do you guys think about, this is a little off topic, but what do you guys think about sabermetrics in baseball now? Because even from when I stopped watching baseball consistently 5 years ago, like the way they count pitches and stuff like that is so crazy to me, because I remember watching the playoffs even 5-10 years ago. Pitchers would go deep into games, 8-9 innings at times. Whereas now, if he throws over 100 pitches and he's only through like 6 innings or whatever, they'll pull him almost immediately.
So there's an in-game aspect for sure, but also with pitch count, like the doctors are smarter now,
Yeah.
and they don't like lower the pitch count, they'll get hurt less. But in game, I know you always have the thing like if Kershaw's in this like 6th or 7th inning and he's throwing, I don't know, you say like 100 pitches, like why do you take him out?
Yeah.
As a fan, I don't. And maybe it's because I'm an A's fan and we don't have any good pitchers, so I'm okay keeping cycling through. But like, I want whoever's gonna give my team the best chance to win pitching, like period.
That's the thing. It's like you get, it's always easy to say, oh, if you left him in, he would have done like this would have happened or this would have happened. But that's something where I feel sabermetrics isn't like, it's not the answer for everything. If you see a guy and if he's getting outs, if he's continuously getting outs second time through the order, like I think you leave him out there. And I mean, it depends on his arm if he's coming off a injury. But Rick Porcello for the Red Sox, he said, I'd rather have a hurt arm with a ring on my hand.
Yeah.
And I mean that's kind of the mindset they had. Like they just rolled with the guys who were doing good. Like Evaldi had that game where he went really deep
In relief, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they didn't end up winning that game, but
But you still
when he got to the clubhouse, everyone was there and they gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
And I think the team aspect is something that or like the non-sabermetric, I guess, the aspect is something I really think that personalities and clubhouse, that's really important, especially in the playoffs. And I feel like that's a huge reason the Dodgers haven't won yet. It's like they're a bunch of me guys.
Yeah. I don't like the sabermetrics that much either. Just as a fan, I don't have that much experience obviously as a player, but as a fan, like it kind of sucks to see that guy, the star player is getting paid $300 million a year, for them to pull him out when he can clearly do more. And like it's more fun to see the best players, even when they're tired or even when their pitch count's high. Whereas the sabermetrics element in a way almost kind of it controls the game for me, and it's like. It's not as much about the baseball, but more about the guys in the back who are doing, I guess, the math and the statistics behind it.
Yeah. Well, they're just trying to win a ring.
I think
at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think the pitch count thing is like one of the. It's not even one of the most like this. The opener was the thing that I thought was pretty interesting. I feel like you were talking about that earlier.
I mean, just for metrics, I look at the metrics to like explain what's happened and like look back and like see like what the metrics say about what happened, but I don't like using them to like predict what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't like. I agree with that. I think it's fine to like look back on it and reflect. Hey, what's going wrong? What do we need to fix? But then using them to like try and I guess alter the course of a game to go a certain way. I don't like. But I know you feel differently about that. Yeah.
So Will and I have had this conversation before with the A's in the wild card game. Where like this is how we're gonna go. We're gonna have Hendricks go the first inning and then 2 innings for Torino or whoever. So that's not exactly how you have to do it. You can have an idea of who you want to pitch, but you can't say these are the innings you're getting. And they altered their plan because it wasn't working. But Yeah, I don't know. I think you have to be more flexible than that.
I don't think the game's going this way, but I don't think you can like, forecast a game like this guy's gonna pitch 2, this guy's gonna pitch 2, this guy's gonna pitch 2.
You have to be
I don't-
better with your matchups.
Yeah, I don't mind the opener. Like I think it's a cool idea, especially if you have a younger pitcher who you're trying to, starting a game's hard. Getting your stuff going in the first inning
Yeah.
and
Or
like, facing the top of their order.
in the A's case, where you have no starting pitcher.
And with that scenario too, I mean, I like the opener, but I mean, trying to script a game like that, especially in a wild card game, you're placing. I mean, I know the A's don't really have any one guy to go to. But I should rather just place my bet on one guy than try to think I'm gonna have these 4 guys who aren't that experienced in the playoffs,
Yeah.
who are all gonna give me
In
2
Yankee
solid
Stadium.
innings against in Yankee Stadium
Yeah.
against the most famous team in the world.
Wait, can you explain the opener for maybe people who don't necessarily understand it? I was talking about just in general for like
For the fans.
for the audience, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the opener's having like a relief pitcher pitch the first inning, and then you have a guy come in and pitch. Well, I think the Rays started doing
The
it first.
Rays are, yeah.
And they had like their young starters who they try to get 4 or 5 innings after, and they had Sergio Romo for the most part.
Yeah,
do the
Romo.
opening. They had a
They
couple
make 3 starts a week. You just go an inning or 2.
they had a couple like lefties they put into.
I hate it though in the World Series, like the Game 7 or whatever, and you have your starting pitcher go like 2 innings. Like that shit's
That's
pissed me
different.
off.
That's a, if you win a World Series. If you lose, you have to wait a whole other season. That
Yeah.
That's different
That's
than
completely different.
That's different than a game in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
different
mean?
than game 84.
But I don't know, like 2 innings, just I don't know. I don't like it,
mean,
but I definitely understand like it's a must-win game, so if you let in a run, that could be the end of your whole
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
But the other thing what you're saying is like you can't rely on people. You can't like forecast a game. So maybe your number 1 guy his arm's sore that day, or his changeup isn't doing that well, and that's his out pitch against the matchup you're putting him up against. So I think there's a lot more that goes into it than just this guy gets out left-handed batters, so we're gonna put him up against lefties. Like
Yeah.
I mean that is something that people do and is more common, but I just don't think you can, like he said, forecast a game based
Yeah.
on someone's stats throughout the year.
And I don't mind the short hook, like especially in the playoffs. Like if you're putting your star out there and he gets you like in the 3rd inning, he's getting hit and you can tell he's getting hit hard. He doesn't have his best stuff. I don't mind you taking him out.
Yeah.
Like
That's what
obviously.
you have to do. Yeah.
Obviously, as I'm a pitcher, I want to stay in the game, but that's for the best of the team. You gotta get your guys in. But I just don't. Yeah, the forecasting the game I don't like.
Anything else you guys want to cover in terms of Bryce Harper, Machado? Anything else?
We could just run through where we think each one's going.
Yeah. Do you guys want to do that?
Yeah, I mean I think Harper's going to the Dodgers and Machado's going to the Yankees. That'd be my bet.
I think Machado Yankees. I don't know with Harper. I think it's between Philly or LA. Philly or LA.
I agree with Will. I'd say Machado to the Yankees and then Harper to the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with as well.
What do you think, Graham?
Graham?
I think Machado Yankees, Harper that makes sense too. I don't think the Yankees need outfielders.
Yeah, well, I think Machado to the Yankees for me is almost like a definite.
It's a walk almost.
Like that, I'm pretty confident about that. I
Yeah.
could see Harper maybe going to the
Like,
Phillies.
You heard he followed the Yes Network on Instagram.
Yeah,
But I don't buy into
I
that
don't buy into
stuff.
that stuff either.
You can
but
just get in people's
but-
heads so easily.
Yeah.
Because he also
He shaved
there
his
was some
beard during
there
the
was-
season.
Yeah,
Right,
there was
yeah.
some other
Stadium.
thing with he was hanging out with the guy on the Phillies or something like
Yeah.
that too. So
Yeah.
you never know.
All right. The next thing let's talk about is the Lakers' young players. So you obviously have Lonzo, Kuzma, Ingram, Hart, all those guys developing. What do you guys think about them just in general? Like, do you have a favorite one out of those 4? And if any, do you think the Lakers should trade one of them?
I think if you let go of any of those players, I think it has to be Ingram. I think that as he's been in there longest, right? He's
Yeah.
the oldest out of all of them. He hasn't really had a breakout year yet. I feel like he's just like a frail dude. I mean, I don't, not that means he can't be good. KD's frail, but I feel like he's kind of injury prone in the sense, and he can't really score.
He's averaging 16, 4, 5, and 2.4.
Yeah, everybody's waiting for him to be like the next KD, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I just don't.
No.
I mean,
I
he
don't
might
see
have it. He might have it talent wise.
I heard
somewhere deep down, but I don't think he has it.
Also,
mentally.
change of scenery, get out the player. So
Yeah.
I heard this
And then get
crazy
some good
stat
return
though
for him.
that Ingram hasn't scored like 25 points in a game since high school.
Really?
So
Really?
yeah, that's what I heard on this show on Fox that they were saying.
That's
That-
crazy.
Yeah, which so if
That's
he
wild.
actually hasn't done that, like I don't think he has that high of a ceiling.
Yeah.
Because if you can't dominate at a lower level, then you're not going to be a high point scorer at a higher level. I think Ingram probably maxes out averaging 20 points a game. He's going to be a good player, but maybe he gets a one-time All-Star or something like that. But I don't see him being someone you necessarily want to keep around forever.
I don't think the Lakers are the right team for him either. I mean, he strikes me more as like an isolation guy, and
Yeah.
that team needs to be catch and shoot if you're gonna have LeBron on your team
Yeah.
and Lonzo running the offense. If they're running it through the guard and they're running it through LeBron. I mean, he needs to be catch and shoot guy. You can't really have him isolating in the corner, especially the way the game is going now. Like there's almost no isolation players left. You see what's happening to Melo.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
RIP Melo.
But Ingram on the team's really worked for me. Like he hasn't. I don't think he'll ever. Even if he became a catch and shoot guy, I feel like he could be more than that, but just not with the Laker team.
Yeah, he's only shooting 30% from three-point range.
Yeah.
So is Kuzma too. The Lakers are a really poor three-point shooting team.
That's a problem.
Lonzo's actually shooting better than both of those two from three-point, and he gets all the criticism. I mean, he is a guard though. He is a point guard, so I guess you'd
What's his
expect.
percentage?
30,
He's 32. And then we have LeBron sitting at
36.
36.
Yeah.
Josh Hart is actually a really good player.
He
I
is.
think he gets undervalued just because he's not has that like that cachet where he was a high draft pick
Yeah.
like the other ones. And Kuzma's kind of caught attention deservingly, but I think Hart's a really good player and he kind of plays both sides of the ball really well. He's a good shooter. He's actually shooting like 38% from three-point range, so he's a little bit better there. And I think he's someone who's going to continue to grow, but I could see him being a starter for the Lakers in the future, but I don't see him someone necessarily you can have. I think he would be like a six-man on a championship team.
I think he has starter talent, but I think he's better off the bench for that team.
Yeah.
I think if you have LeBron off the court, he's a good guy who can kind of run that offense and they can not play through, but he can help kind of lead that team.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about trading, I think it's either Ball Ingram or Hart Ingram.
You think it's a combo?
I think you gotta. Yeah. They're not. You have to trade. You gotta get two people if you want to get it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need it. You don't need a guy with a high 3-point shooting percentage. That's not what you need. You need a shooter, someone who is established, who has played in the playoffs before. Because that doesn't matter. They're gonna get to the playoffs. It's once they get there, what are they gonna do in the playoffs?
What are your suggestions for the return?
I have an idea that I was thinking just in general was like this is just throwing out a potential trade they could do would be and you guys can tell me if you think either team would take this would be Lonzo and Ingram for Damian Lillard. Because Lillard is having a career best year. He's almost averaging 27 points. So I think the Blazers may not do it. The thing that's interesting about the Blazers situation is they have McCollum and Damian Lillard, who are both two very similar players. They play a similar style, but they're both kind of ISO guys, and they can kind of like have one on the court while the other one's taking a rest, but it still doesn't work real smoothly. So if you have as the Blazers, if they got Lonzo, then Lonzo's distributor, and then he can play the ball to McCollum or other shooters, and then that would work really nice. And then also having Ingram there, he would get to have a little more freedom in terms of ISO stuff.
Do you think the Blazers would do that? Though? Trade their best player when they're in 5th in the West right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, depends what the Blazers want to do. I mean, I think they're looking at it realistically. They're not really. I don't think they're a championship team anytime soon.
Well, neither are the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Lakers are closer just because they have LeBron.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
In terms of what player they keep, do you think that the Lakers are looking post LeBron right now?
No.
They're trying to.
Also, Lillard's a free agent, and he's a free agent in 2021, so he has a
Yeah.
couple more years under contract. But I think this would be a smart time if the Lakers were to want to go get him. I don't know. They may ask for Hart though too.
yeah. I mean, they got to do something soon because I mean they're really on the clock with LeBron. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still playing great, but he's getting up there, and they got to win with him
And the
if they're gonna
Lakers,
win.
they
Yeah,
need to
they're not
spice
gonna
something
win
up.
without him right
They're
now.
currently in 8th in the West.
Yeah, but I mean it's really tight in the West right
Yeah,
now.
game and a half ahead of the Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, just talk a little louder because it's the audio's not quite getting in.
I got you.
The deal that I think would be better and probably more realistic is either, like I said, the Hart, Ingram, or Lonzo Ingram for Bradley Beal,
Yeah.
who is also on contract until 2021, so you have a few years.
It's in the Wizards still.
Wizards,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
And
mean,
the Wizards
they're,
are
they're,
looking to move people.
they're tanking.
The
and-
Wizards gotta blow it up.
Yeah, they gotta blow it up. And I think that's that's young. I think that's a win-win for both teams. You have young people who can also not. It's not like they're developing to the point where they can't win now. Like they're gonna win some games for the Wizards, and I mean Lonzo obviously is he's like a
He's
a-
special.
I don't know, bro. No, not like that. But he's like someone who is his dad's very polarizing, and he's probably gonna draw attention. Probably get some people in seats, and then you got Bradley Beal, who's a bona fide 3-point shooter. He has playoff experience, not necessarily good playoff experience, but he's been there. So I mean, that's the best deal I see, and then get AD after this year too.
Yeah, I agree with
You
the
think
deal
that's-
one. I think that's probably the best one.
They need stars.
But
I think
the
they're
thing
getting
is,
AD or Kawhi.
who do you trade? They could say, hey, we want Kuz, and then no, because I think everyone agrees. I don't know about you guys, but from what I've heard outside of this, it's like everyone believes that Kuzma is like a good third superstar. He could be a third superstar
Yeah, I
on a
think so, too.
championship.
I
He
think
can
he's
score.
I think he's the most talented of those young guys they have.
Yeah,
But he doesn't play both sides. But I don't really care if he can get. Dude, he can get a bucket when he needs to.
Well, then
That's
you
something.
get AD and LeBron. That's
Dude, that-
essentially more
it's-
than 2 people.
and he has
Yeah.
mentality too. Kuzma goes out there and he's all about like scoring and like he has focus where other players like Lonzo sometimes drift away from the game. Kuzma's always inserts himself into the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Lakers need a star. I mean, it's such a star-driven league now. I mean, the teams, everybody's trying to get, 3 guys. I think that's the thing. I think they'll get Anthony Davis, and I think they really need Anthony Davis. But, I don't know if I think Beal's a good fit, but they need like role players too. They need guys who can go in and.
Well, that's in theory.
Would you say Bradley Beal's a star?
Yeah, I would say he's a star.
He was a
He's
kid.
not a superstar. There's a difference between those two.
Yeah, it was like
You're not winning with him as the best player in your team, but I think he could be the 2 or 3 on a championship team.
So you don't think he's the third on theirs? Like you don't
If
think?
you got Anthony Davis, he'd be the 3.
Do you think you can win a championship with that?
I think he could. I mean, if you got the right role players around him,
I think
they're
Kuz
coached the right
would
way.
complement that team pretty nice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's someone who can create his own shot. He can shoot it a little bit. He can finish around the basket, and he's a decent passer.
Yeah, I like the Beal, LeBron, and then Kuzma fit. I like that threesome. That sounds really nice. Whereas Davis with them, obviously Davis is way better than Beal, but he doesn't quite complement it the same way. I think the big thing for the Lakers, if they do go get a free agent or they trade for Davis in the offseason, is they have to blow up the young core a little bit and go get some shooting. Because, you can say, oh, they're trying to do something different, but no one's saying they have to be the best shooting team in the league or one of the best. But they need to be at least they can't be the worst shooting team and win the finals.
They need to find some 3-and-D guys. They need to find like the Trevor Ariza's of the world.
Yeah.
Just find some guys who can. they need to find. I mean, they'd be able to play defense too. And I mean, they need to get some veterans who know how to win games.
Yeah. There's a lot of competition in the West.
Yeah. But I mean, I think if you have LeBron being LeBron, then you have Kuzma and Beal on your wings, and then you have Anthony Davis controlling the paint.
That's insane.
Well, that's insane.
That's insane, bro.
Does that be the Warriors with KD? Does that be the Warriors with KD and Cousins?
I don't think KD's staying with the Warriors, and I don't think that.
You don't think KD's staying with the Warriors?
KD,
Not for 1 year?
KD
To
to
the
the
Knicks.
Oh no.
You don't think KD's staying with the Warriors though?
No, I don't.
Where do you think he's
done
going?
what he came to do.
I don't know, dude. They're not looking good this year, bro.
They're still
They're
second.
still second,
They're
yeah.
still
I don't
second
care,
in the
but
West.
they're just not. They don't look good.
You think there's
But
teams that
Clay's
can
not
do
been
4 to
shooting
7?
well. Curry's been out.
There's teams that could do it. I'm not saying they will,
That's
but
fair.
I
Yeah,
think
they're definitely the Thunder look really good.
the
right now.
Thunder.
yeah,
they're
with
playing defense.
Paul George. Paul
Yeah.
George has changed from a star to a superstar this
I mean,
year.
they-
And,
still.
Westbrook's not even playing up to his potential.
Westbrook is shooting awful.
Yeah,
He's
but
shooting-
dude, I'm saying once he
25%
gets,
from three.
they're winning with that. Like,
Yeah.
if he gets even up to backed
The
up to
Warriors
what,
are
30,
winning with their
is
guys
that 25 now?
underplaying too.
Who?
Westbrook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Westbrook's shooting 24% from three.
If he gets back up to around 30, like,
I mean, he's not I don't have a problem with him shooting 25% from 3 because he's not a
He's a
3-point
career
shooter.
But the thing
he's
is-
still
He just can't.
pulling.
He needs to stop
Before-
shooting. Yeah, that's the problem. He
Before
can't, he gotta stop shooting.
Before Paul George came to the Thunder, Westbrook was like throwing up like so many threes a game,
Yeah.
and he's never been a good 3-point shooter. I think people kind of overlook that because he has so many other good qualities.
He's attempting 5 a year.
His
5
highest
games so far
percentage
this
was
year.
from 3 was 34%, and other than that, he's been
at
under
30,
32%.
He's at 24 right now. He's a career 31.
Dude, that's I mean
31. I mean, for his
for him
role,
for him it's
respectable.
not bad.
31's not terrible, I mean, but that's not. He settles way too much for the fact that he can get to the basket pretty much whenever
He
he
gets
wants
to the
to. He
basket
makes something
whenever
happen.
he wants to.
I mean,
he's the most athletic guy.
people are gonna say he's like a ball hog or whatever. I mean, he holds the ball up. I mean, he's an elite passer. I mean, you have to be a good passer to get 10 plus assists a game. I don't care how long you're holding the ball. He's gotta try to make something happen, not settle for jump shots.
How many more years do you think he'd last though? Because part of
He's
the problem with the way he plays though is when you have to go to the basket like that and you're a smaller guy, like how is that gonna affect him in the long run in terms of his knees? He had a knee surgery this off season, so
I don't think the Thunder are gonna get any superstars anytime soon. So I think if there's any time to go all out, it's right
They
now.
gotta go now.
I mean, he doesn't have that much more time, and I mean, he's definitely in. I think MVP year was the peak of his prime. I'm not saying he's gonna like start doing terrible or anything, but like that was his best year, and I think that he needs to understand that he doesn't have that much time left.
Yeah.
yeah. What do you think about Harden though? Like, cause what do you think about the Rockets just in general? This has been an interesting one for me. They started to get their shit together like towards midway through the first half of the season. Graham, do you have any takes on the Rockets or?
Harden for MVP.
Harden?
Oh,
Ooh, he's being
I mean, I
bold.
don't know. The Rockets, I don't feel like they're that deep, but I mean, I always thought that, like, James Harden and Chris Paul with Mike D'Antoni is a really good fit running that offense. And I mean, the way James Harden's playing right now, I mean, they have a chance to win.
If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt though.
Yeah.
Isn't he out for a little bit?
Yeah, he's out right now with the hamstring.
Back
I think this is something like, I don't know exactly, but something like fourth hamstring injury in the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, he's winding down. He's still a really good player, and he's a great point guard. But I think anytime you have James Harden on the court, he's a threat. And I think it's like he's just a shooter, dude. Like, he can get hot so quick where he can turn a game around. Almost like the Warriors in the sense that they're the third quarter team where they'll be down 15 points and you go to the bathroom and come back and they're up 3. You know what I mean? Like, he's like that in the sense that when he gets hot, like, he's always a threat. And when you pair that with Chris Paul and what's the center's name?
What's his
Or,
name?
not
I don't know what
center's
you're
name.
talking about.
Whatever. Center's name.
On the Rockets.
Yeah, what's that guy's name?
Capella. Clint Capella.
Oh, yeah,
He-
Capella.
He's had better years, but like when he gets hot, he can.
He's a beast.
Yeah,
Yeah, Clint Capella's a dude.
he can
Yeah.
watch. He's a.
You made it wrong.
Good job, Graham. That's a hot take right there. That's gonna be the
That's the thing that-
title for the video.
Clickbait.
Clint
Well,
Capella is a beast.
Question mark.
No, I mean, I don't think that team has as good of a shot as they had last year. But I mean, I still think they could win some games. But I don't think they're as good as the Thunder. I obviously don't think they're as good as the Warriors.
All right, biggest threat in the West for
I
the
think it's the Thunder right now.
Thunder.
The way those guys are
What-
playing.
Yeah, they're playing.
What about
they're
the
playing
Nuggets?
defense.
The Nuggets haven't really cooled off.
I don't see the Nuggets winning.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
see
see the Nuggets beating the Warriors.
I think the
4 times
Nuggets
a
are
week.
gonna knock off a really good team.
In a 7-game
Yeah.
series, though, I could see. What if the Lakers right now? The Lakers are the 8th seed, and the Nuggets are the 1st seed. Who do you got in that game? in that
I got
series.
the Lakers in that series. All
Yeah,
day.
I do too, because you have LeBron.
LeBron
and-
shows
Yeah, I'll beat
up.
LeBron 4 times in a week.
yeah, it's
Like,
not.
that's-
It's not gonna happen.
that's all. Hard.
But
That's hard.
I just think that the Nuggets are gonna knock off a team that like the Rockets. They
Yeah.
have the potential to knock
I can
off
see
a
that.
I can see that too.
a bona fide team where they can come in and just
But you said Thunder.
Nuggets Thunder though. What about that?
Nuggets Thunder. I don't know.
That's a tight series
I
for
got
sure.
Thunder.
I got Thunder. I think with the NBA, since there's only 5 players on the court at a time, you always go with the team if they're evenly matched with the superstar.
Yeah.
So that's they always people would say in the West, I mean in the East that this team could possibly beat LeBron, but LeBron always, I mean he's LeBron though. So.
As long as he's like, as long as he has someone around him that can shoot a 3-pointer, like he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Even if it's I don't know.
I mean, even without the guy who can shoot a 3-pointer, he's doing all right.
Yeah. He basically beat the Celtics by himself and beat Who else didn't he take? Who did he take
The
to
washed
7
up
games?
Kevin Love.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Did he take the Pacers to 7 games or something?
Yeah.
They were not supposed to win that series, man.
Yeah.
No.
What do you guys think about the comparison between Westbrook and Harden at the end of their careers? Who do you think will have more respect and will be like the greater player?
I mean, I think those guys both get a lot of shit. I mean, James Harden gets all that stuff for
His
fouls
playoffs.
and, like his flops, like stuff like that, and not playing well in the playoffs. I mean, obviously Westbrook gets stuff about ball hogging and stuff. I don't know. I don't think those guys. I don't think either. I mean,
I think Harden's better than
I think Harden's better. I'd rather have Harden.
Yeah, I think that the thing with Westbrook is Harden has is more fine tuned in aspects of the game. Like Harden's a good 3-point shooter. Harden can average. They average similar assists. Westbrook actually averages more, but I think Harden is in terms of scoring, he is better in terms of scoring. Westbrook does other things. Westbrook probably plays the better defense. Neither of them is great at defense.
If I'm building a team too, I think Harden would mesh better with other superstars than Westbrook would. I mean, obviously Westbrook's doing it with George now, but I just rather. I feel like I could put anybody with Harden and they could make it work. I don't know if I feel the same way with Westbrook.
I think something that I always kind of forget is like, who's the best player in the NBA right now?
LeBron.
Who's the best shooter?
Curry.
So I think the fact you're a good 3-point shooter doesn't make you better. Like LeBron, the reason why he's so good is because he can get to the basket whenever he wants.
But he's big though.
No, he can guard whoever he wants. Like if he wants to, he can lock anyone down. He can shoot the 3 on occasion, but like the ability to get to the basket is something that's never going to go away in the NBA. And I think like you have 2 points whenever you want.
I mean, now the game is just going so much like the other direction, like the mid range almost dead, and you have
It's
above
3
the rim.
you're either
The
done.
mid range is
above the rim
literally
guys
it's
or
literally
3-point
dead.
guys.
You either go to the rim or you shoot from 3.
I don't know. The mid range is just like a pointless. I mean, there are some good mid range shooters, like DeRozan's always a good mid range guy, and Aldridge on that team's also a good mid range guy. When Porzingis comes back, he was playing well in the mid range.
Porzingis
RP to
coming
Melo.
R.I.P. Melo.
But I don't know. I mean, the mid range at this point, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to have a guy who bases his game around the mid range because
He doesn't fit into any real system.
Yeah, he's
If
never
you have a
gonna,
mid range, you have to be able to create your own shot. And
you have to be able to do something else. I mean,
Yeah.
You have to be able to get to the basket and have a mid range.
because there's always been,
if you shoot, but if the thing is, if you're able to shoot from 3, why have a mid range game?
Yeah.
there's no
That's what it
catch and shoot mid range shooters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you create your own shot where it's like you're driving to the basket, step back. You know what I mean? You have to be able to finish around the basket or, you know what I mean?
I mean, the guys who are historically mid-range shooters and like ISO guys take a lot of shots in the game. That's just not the way the game's moving anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta, 3-pointers are where, 3-pointers and dunks are where it's at. It's just the most efficient.
Well, that's basketball starting to move towards analytics, just in general, like baseball. Whereas, like before, people were just trying to get as many points as possible. Obviously, there's systems like the triangle and stuff like that going on, but now they're starting to move a little more towards analytics. And I like the way basketball is at with analytics right now because it's not like overly like I guess into the game like it is in baseball. I wouldn't say overly in baseball, but that's just my perspective. But the way it's been implemented is kind of nice where you still have players who don't necessarily shoot the 3 well, but that doesn't mean they can't be great players in the NBA.
Like Steven Adams is a center who's like
He's
he's like a classic, he's
That
a
boy's-
classic center though, you
Steven
know what I
Adams
mean?
is
That boy,
Oh.
Steven Adams straight out of
can't-
Australia.
He
can't shoot a 3.
He's an overlooked guy. I mean, that guy does so much for that team.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't show up in this. I mean, he gets a ton of rebounds, but I mean,
McGee is another person who's
Oh,
way overlooked.
JaVale McGee.
He's had he started off really well, and I mean
2-time NBA champion, 3-time Shaq the Fool.
that's overlooked, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Tyson Chandler was big for that team too.
Yeah, that was
was
a
a
really
big
good
signing.
move.
I remember.
That was a great. I think that's in the off season that may have been one of besides the LeBron deal one of Magic's greatest moves
Yeah.
because a lot of the pieces he got didn't really fit well with LeBron and Chandler
Tyson
gave them the
Chandler
defense
works.
they needed.
I just remember when the Knicks were actually good. Believe it or not, how good
man.
Tyson Chandler was for that
R.I.P.
team, how good he was for us.
All right.
And he's a defensive guy, and he's just a really good team guy.
So before we jump into the next steps we're gonna talk about soon,
God.
let's do something. We're gonna get Graham a little involved here too.
Let's go, baby.
But this is still gonna be basketball. But I don't know if you guys heard about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think Steph Curry said that the moon landing never happened, and then recently, one of the fans wore they wore like an astronaut suit to the game.
No.
And yeah, so I mean, what do you guys think about NBA players coming out and saying stuff? Obviously, Kyrie did that last
Kyrie
year.
said the world
He
was
said he
flat.
was joking.
Yeah, Steph
Steph said he was joking.
Yeah, he came back.
Did he say he was joking?
Yeah, he said, yeah.
Well, it was on a podcast, so it's kind of sometimes people don't
You can't
understand
really tell.
what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the thing is, you wouldn't expect that from someone like Steph Curry because
Yeah, I have too much
his
respect
dad
for
played in the
him.
NBA.
That's
He's
true.
probably decently well educated. He speaks
Davidson,
well.
Davidson.
Yeah, he doesn't seem dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he talks pretty well. He doesn't,
I
as
hope
Graham
he wasn't
said,
serious.
speak dumb. But nah, and then, but do you guys think the NBA players should be more careful about saying that stuff, or do
Oh,
you
I
think?
thought you were going the direction where
Should've
do you
smart.
think the moon landing was real?
Yeah,
Yes,
I-
on that one.
Hey man,
You never
Sure
know.
hope so.
you never know.
The thing
The
is,
space race was pretty intense.
Pretty
Maybe they
intense.
just decided. I know how we can win it.
the hard part would
Why?
be keeping everyone
Fake it.
quiet after
Fake
doing
it till
that.
you make it.
Imagine having to
Till you
like keep quiet at almost hundreds
Yeah, imagine
of
all the
employees in
people.
NASA.
Yeah.
Someone would have said
They
something.
wouldn't,
Yeah,
they wouldn't
that's
even be at NASA though, would they? Would they be in like Hollywood backstage?
I mean, all the people who are working
But
at
they
NASA
work
who
for
are working
NASA.
on the moon landing would realize that
They're
we
paying
didn't
people for
actually
something
do
that's
that.
fake.
They're like, oh, when did that happen?
That's how funny, bro.
I kind of like that the fan came to the game.
Yeah,
like
that's all.
that.
I think it was the Kings game, like at a TV timeout, they put on the Jumbotron, like a video of the moon landing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, I think you can kind of say whatever you want. Like, I don't really care that much, but
you
there was an
can
argument that there was like, it's not really professional and it's kind of like messed up because of how many kids look up to you,
Yeah.
and it's like,
You shouldn't say things like controversial, polarizing things as a public figure.
I mean, you definitely can.
Well,
There's a lot of
I mean,
people
that's
who do
Yeah.
one way to
I don't think
get.
it's
That's-
that big a
that's
deal,
one way to
bro.
get public
Let him say
attention.
what he
Yeah, I
wants.
don't think it's that big of a deal, but I would say just maybe do a little research before. NASA offered to have them over and show them some moon rocks.
I feel like any kid who's young enough to like just believe it that the moon landing is fake because Steph Curry said so isn't even old enough for it to really matter.
Yeah, that's true, but
Yeah,
I mean,
rough
I understand the argument. I understand the argument though. Like, it's like you gotta be more
I
responsible.
mean, I get it, but I mean that's not like
I don't
a
really
detrimental thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not affecting anybody if you think the moon's
Yeah.
if you think
I
the moon
mean,
landing's fake. I mean,
it
maybe
just-
your parents are a
that
little
could be the
embarrassed.
start of a
It's kind
downward
of
spiral.
shocking though because there's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many NBA players who you watch their interviews and like they talk pretty well and they answer the questions like and well, but then you have like people like and then you have like Kyrie who's very well spoken come out and say the Earth is flat, and then you have Draymond agree with that.
I mean,
or it's
I don't know.
not necessarily say the Earth is flat.
Dude, I'd rather have if it was like my kid, I'd rather have them looking up to those guys than like, I don't know, some of the NFL players.
Yeah, that's
I'd rather have my kid look up to Steph Curry.
Yeah.
No, NFL players talk a lot less to the individual, like they get the quarterback or whatever, right? But they don't get all that.
Yeah.
I mean,
NFL players are definitely not as well spoken as NBA
And all that
players.
brain damage.
Yeah, I mean, you got Ben
Dave
Roethlisberger. You got Ben Roethlisberger like talking shit about his own teammates on his own
Yeah,
that's
radio
mad.
show. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. That
He
whole
tried to head it.
Yeah, at least Katie tried out. Yeah,
Draymond-
that's so
bro.
crazy when you go on like you're to criticize Antonio Brown for like his route running on your like weekly radio.
How do
show.
you have-
that's
training,
terrible.
right?
Do you think
Just talk
Antonio
about that
Brown is kind of
practice.
jealous of
Say it to
Juju's
him.
Rise.
like rise and the fact that the Steelers voted him MVP of the team before?
I think he's pissed. I mean,
Yeah.
I would be. I mean,
But-
I'm sure he.
No,
Obviously, he thinks he's the best player.
Here's what it is. He's notorious for being a me guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're somebody who's that good, like same thing with Harper and Machado. It's like people are still gonna pay you. It's not like you. It's not like the fact your personality is like that is gonna make you not good. But it's just you can't win with guys like that, and that's the thing that I think people are starting to realize. Like people are saying just get him out of there. You can't have him on a must-win game.
It's kinda
you
toxic.
skip practice like the rest of the week after your encounter with the quarterback. And I don't think Ben Roethlisberger. I don't think he was in there. Like
He's
I don't
not
think
in the right
he's
there.
in either.
He's a
Roethlisberger's
me
also
type of guy.
a
Yeah,
but I'm saying
Roethlisberger's notorious for throwing.
Juju though is. I
I
think Juju could help change their thing, but
Their culture.
what were you
I
saying? Yeah,
think
the culture.
that the one person. This is what Max Kellerman said. I'm quoting Max Kellerman. The
That's
one person.
boy.
The one person you
Max
can't. You're
Kellerman.
not above on that team. Is your quarterback, and you can't have like if he did that to someone else, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But the fact you start an argument with your quarterback is the thing that made him like skip practice for the rest of the week and then not be able to play.
Yeah.
And you saw he showed up with a mink coat on the sideline.
Yeah, he could have. That.
That was hella funny. Dude.
Yeah, no. Well, okay. Talking about back to Max Kellerman. You said Max Kellerman. Do you guys have a favorite
Stephen A.
sportscaster
No,
that you
Stephen
guys
A.
like? I like Shannon Sharp. That's mine.
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp. Skip.
Dude, when he comes in with the LeBron,
He's so
when he comes in with LeBron,
and he talks about LeBron. The funniest thing for
Dude, he's
me,
yoked,
my
too.
favorite
He's
Shannon Sharp
yoked.
moment was he started coming in talking about how when they get like AD, Anthony Davis, like it'll be like LeBron's on vibranium. Like he's so funny. Him and Skip, they bet like Mountain Dew on games and like he owes them like 12 cases of Dew. Yeah, they're hilarious. I love that.
Yeah,
Like that show, I'll like come home and watch. With First Take, I don't know. I kind of got.
First take.
I got old. Like I got tired of.
I just hate Molly, bro.
Yeah,
Molly's
Oh yeah.
Hashtag
Yeah, they
fire
all
Molly, bro.
the Fox people always have the best presenters they have on. That's so forced. Anyways, we're just gonna go with it. I think the Fox presenters are the best. Like they have Jenny Taft on the Undisputed, and she actually knows some stuff about college football. And then they had one of the NBA's players' wives, former NBA players' wives, on before. So I think whereas Molly just. Her questions just aren't very great sports
It's not even a
questions.
question. Wait, what I hate about Molly is when she talks over like Stephen A. or Max. Like they talk over each other enough. I don't need to hear Molly talking about some. And she just like repeats the same shit or just says some dumbass stuff. Like, I hate it.
Yeah, I think my favorite, one of my favorite people though has to be Rachel Nichols. Her interviews are so good with LeBron and all that stuff, and it's. I mean, the thing is though, is she's someone who kind of almost in a way she deserves her own show, and that's what she kind of has with the Jump. And her dynamic is really good. Whereas Molly is more of a presenter, and Stephen A. She just kind of.
He's an entertainer.
Yeah, he's an entertainer.
No,
so
but he knows his
He
stuff.
knows
He
his
doesn't
stuff.
know baseball. He doesn't know football that well, but he knows basketball.
I would say though that
Well, Rachel Nichols actually lets the people like talk, and they actually have like interesting discussions. Molly she just makes their argument worse.
Molly
She
is
also
a mediator. She's a mediator, whereas Rachel Nichols.
She's a mediator, but she also tries to insert her own opinion.
But all right, when Will Kane is on the show,
God.
Molly,
Oh,
Stephen
God.
A, Max, and Will Kane is the hardest thing for me
R.I.P.
to
to
watch.
my guy Will Kane,
Yeah,
bro.
Will
They
Kane- I
stayed
like-
as bullies.
You like Will Kane?
No, I appreciate the fact that he just doesn't back down.
Yeah.
But watching him argue with them is like really hard.
Yeah,
to
His
watch.
points are. I don't like.
Yeah, I rarely agree with him, but I feel bad that it's like bash him for saying stuff that's not even that much worse than like what Stephen A. or Max is saying.
But Rachel Nichols, I like her a lot. Fire Molly. That's I think that's the conclusion. of
Sure,
this.
fire
Moving
Molly.
on.
Who are,
They need to give her
all
like
right,
a
top
word
three.
limit.
Give me your top three sportcasters. We'll just go through this all and then.
Ever?
Just
Just right. That's out of the ESPN and Fox people we were just talking about.
Oh,
people on.
I'll be so
Do you
real.
know
That's
Colin
rough.
Coward? Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I like
I like
Colin.
You like him?
But sometimes
Him and Baker Mayfield. You see they get into it on Twitter.
Yeah.
He says some.
Yeah.
I mean, all sportscasters say some dumb
Yeah.
stuff. We probably said some dumb shit on this already
But
too.
I think his thing is he gets on rants and then it's like hard to follow. Like, and he's just in his own little world. I think he does that like.
They got 13.
I mean, I'd say he's third for me, but he's really good. But I think sometimes he's really hard to follow because he just like he thinks everyone understands what he's talking about, but he's just like in his own little world. That's my opinion on him.
I would go for me. My top three would be. It would be Shannon Sharp. And then I'd probably go Rachel Nichols because I like to watch the interviews with the athletes.
Yeah.
She does a good job. And I think the athletes kind of appreciate her because she doesn't ask stupid questions.
Yeah.
Like, her questions are thoughtful and they're like, I don't know, like, it's obviously LeBron's favorite person to be interviewed by because he does all of his with her. And then my third one would probably be, I just like the Skip and Shannon dynamic, so I guess
Skip?
I think my three are Colin Cowherd, Rachel, and Stephen A. Smith.
What about you? You got any? Do you watch ESPN for sake or anything like that?
Not as much as you
Bro, I'm
guys.
going
I just watch the YouTube clips. I don't actually go on it.
Stephen A, Shannon, and either Colin or Rachel Nichols. I like
Yeah.
Rachel Nichols. She's cool.
All right. Next topic.
Probably Brody Brazil up there.
Brody Brazil.
I know you watch. You used to watch Men in Blazers though.
I
Yeah.
still watch them Blazers.
Yeah, they're cool.
I don't listen to their podcast much, but yeah.
I used to listen to their podcast a lot. They're not that interesting.
I disagree. But
But anyways, let's go on Will's Knicks rant.
My Knicks rant?
Yeah.
What do you want me to rant about?
The Knicks.
Just what about the ownership?
We're just
Let's talk about the
the
ownership.
ownership. I mean, yeah, Dolan's scaring everybody away. Obviously it's New York City's Madison Square Garden, like the most famous arena in the world. Like we should be able to attract star power. But I don't know, man. I mean, right now, I don't know. Like I'm just confused on what we're trying to do. Like obviously we're trying to rebuild, but we have like I don't know. Fizdale keeps on like he doesn't trust any. Like he switches up the lineup so much. Like he's not giving any certain guys like a chance to grow. Like I get at the beginning of the season like switching up the lineups the way he was doing it. But at this point of the season, you got to pick some guys that you think are gonna be the guys who are gonna try to build this team around. Because obviously, we're only gonna keep a third of this team moving forward probably. You got to pick the guys who you really are gonna invest in. Because if we're just keep on cycling through guys, we're never gonna find out who can really play.
Who
Who
was that they drafted last year or 2 years ago? I think the point guard.
Ntilikina?
Yeah, he did not work out. That was a bad
Yeah,
draft
he's
pick.
just.
Like that's the thing. They always draft Porzingis sort of worked out.
Remember
He's
Steven
now
Adams
he's hurt.
Porzingis? Have you seen those videos?
It's just like the draft. Like they just always tried to go for like the long shot that could possibly work out. You know what I mean? Like you know how many people they passed up in that draft?
Yeah.
Yeah, Porzingis, or not Porzingis. What's his name? Ntilikina was bad.
Yeah, he's.
That was not it. I like Knox a lot. We got Trier.
You got ISO
We
Zoe.
got ISO Zoe.
That's what I got.
I like Zoe a lot. He's really solid.
Who would you keep? You
I
said you
keep
keep the
Zoe.
team.
I keep Zoe. I keep Knox. We're keeping Hardaway. We signed him.
You think you get Kyrie this off season?
I think we could.
You think you could?
Yeah. I don't know.
He doesn't want to be with Jason Tatum, bro.
Yeah, he doesn't fit well with Boston's system. I think you have Rozier there, he'll fit better than.
No, I think
Kyrie's not worth the. Yeah, I don't think for Boston. I don't think Kyrie's worth the money.
He's not, and I think I think he was a good fit with Boston when he first got there, but then when he got hurt, Jason Tatum became the star, and I don't think he was ready for Jason Tatum.
No,
to become
Kyrie
a
needs
star.
to be the star.
He needs to
That's
be
the
the
whole
star.
problem under
That was
LeBron
the
too.
whole exactly. That's the whole problem why he left Cleveland. So how he's gonna go to a team and then he's gonna watch a young guy be a star? That's not.
I think as of late he's been playing better, and Jason Tatum hasn't been playing as well as he was. Still I think he might leave. I don't know. I'd love him in New York.
Jason
but,
Tatum's in his second year.
Jason Tatum.
He's got a lot of time to grow, and he is so you want to get him.
And he
You want to
fits-
keep him on the team as opposed to Kyrie.
Yeah.
Who's
And he fits better in Brad Stevens' system.
What about Gordon Hayward? Because he's kind of a misfit too. He just had 35 points, I think, yesterday or something. But him. You have too many players who play a similar position with him, Brown, and Tatum. And I think I like both Jaylen Brown and Tatum a lot.
I think they're gonna keep the young guys over Hayward.
Yeah, I would look to move Hayward and bring some other players in, maybe more role players in.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember he was the guy for the Jazz, right?
Yeah.
For a while, and he's able to, he was a really good player when he was on the Jazz, and then he got to the Celtics, got hurt early, and it's gonna be hard for him to get back into form. But you can't just forget about how good he was with the Jazz. He has the potential to be a really good player with them, and I think one of the things with him is he wasn't ever a super demanding player when it came to the ball. Obviously if he's the best player, he's gonna end up getting the ball more times than not. But he wasn't ball.
He doesn't need the ball for a large portion of the shot clock to score.
Like a Kyrie would, or LeBron needs
Russell.
the ball. Yeah.
What about KD to the Knicks? Well, what do you think about that?
I don't think it's gonna happen. I absolutely love it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
But imagine if they got Porzingis, KD, and Kyrie on the same team. Is that a shame?
Porzingis can't be.
And Zion.
I think we have a best shot at getting Zion out of all those guys.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Would you rather? Okay, if you guys got the first overall pick,
Zion.
would you go Zion? You would go Zion over
I'd
RJ
easily go
Barrett?
Zion. Well, the thing is, I mean, I guess we're still trying to work with Porzingis. I mean, I like Porzingis the way he plays. I mean, as much as he's gotten hurt,
That's tough.
I mean, and he can't be. Like
can't be the best player on the
obviously
team.
it's New York City. We want to win a championship, right? He can't be the best player on a championship team. There's no way. Not in the way the league is right now. And I mean, at the beginning of last year, scoring like 30 points a game, and then all of a sudden teams started doubling him and started playing physical with him, and then a couple months later he's hurt, and his field goal percentage is tanking.
Graham. Sorry, we just.
But I mean, if you can. No, but I mean, I know we were talking earlier about how like the mid-range game's kind of dead. But I mean, if you can get Kristaps into like that mid to like 3-point range and have Zion being the guy in the paint, not posting up in the paint, because I mean, obviously
He's not big enough
Not
to.
6'7". But I mean, just as strong as he is, and to be able to drive to the basket like that, I think it really helps space the floor for Kristaps, especially if we get like a guard,
But the
like a
thing
really good
is,
point guard.
I think Barrett is better than Zion.
He is.
Because
I think
his
he's a better-
stats-
It's not necessarily.
But he scores more. He's just an all around. But I think Zion has more upside.
That's the thing.
And
Like,
you've
I
never
think
really
Zion
seen
will
anything
translate
like
better.
Zion. Also, if you get Zion, you're selling out for at least a while because
yeah.
any team that gets
He's a
Zion.
highlight reel.
Yeah.
He's a walking highlight reel. But Barrett he's the safe pick in the sense that he's probably first year gonna average 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. That's why you know what I mean. Like that's gonna be a stat
We
line.
can quote you on that.
Well, I mean, he's got the stats up right now. I mean, Zion Williamson's shooting 65%, and he's 6'7". Like that doesn't happen.
Hey, real quick,
Yeah, I
look at
think
this.
that's
like college back.
Does that look like Graham?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does. There, Graham. I'm gonna put a picture of that right up here. Like, comment, and subscribe if you think that looks like Graham.
No, but like the whole RJ Barrett, like he's more well rounded, but he's also kind of like. I don't want to say like maxed out, like this is like his max potential, because it's not, and he has the ability. He could possibly be a really great player in the league, but like he's kind of polished as a player.
Yeah, but
Like,
if you.
I don't know. Zion is like he's athletic, and he's like I said, a highlight reel, and you could do a lot with that. Like you could turn him into. And like someone like one of the best players in the NBA, where it's like Barrett, like you know you're getting already.
If you watch a Duke game, they don't really run anything for Zion.
Yeah.
Like they let RJ kind of do his thing, and Zion's kind of
Zion just kind of floats around.
They'll let him run post plays every once in a while, but a lot of his points are on like offensive rebounds, like putback dunks and stuff like that. But I mean, when he gets the ball in the post, he's unstoppable. I mean, 6'7", 285, I think is what he is. Like you can't stop that. I mean, if you put a guy that's bigger than him, he's gonna run by him, and if you put a guy that's smaller than him, he's gonna body him.
So going back to the Knicks, what was your stat that you had before the show that you told us?
What was the stat?
I haven't.
Oh, the Knicks haven't won a game in regulation since November 25th.
So I think we can end the segment on the Knicks right there. We're
Well,
concluding that the Knicks suck.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we were playing teams close. We were playing good teams close in the beginning of the season. Like we're not a fourth quarter team. Obviously, we don't have a good player. But right now, we're just playing awful. I mean, we lost to the Suns at home, and we lost to the Hawks at home. Like that can't happen, especially when we play in the Garden. We have that kind of home court advantage.
Yeah, I love listening to Michael Rappaport talk about the Knicks.
Yeah.
He just gets so mad.
Yeah.
When is Kristaps coming back from injury? Is it?
I mean, they say he's reevaluated in February, so to me, he's out for the season. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna bring him back this season. I mean, we're 9-29 right now. I think probably something like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do I'll give you guys an option for the final topic of the podcast. Would you guys want to do an early MVP thing, or do you guys want to talk about Markelle Fultz?
We can't do both.
Do you want to do both?
We do both.
All right, let's do both. Let's
Let's
start.
do Fultz.
Let's start with Fultz. I gotta end this at 3:40 because I gotta go to this game, but
Okay.
we have like 10 minutes, or 12 minutes. So Berkeley High game.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Berkeley High. Shout out Elstree High School soccer.
Yeah, you get me.
You get me.
Baseball.
All right.
Guacos.
Shout out Reedley College.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
The Dirty R.
The dirty R.
The dirty R.
All right.
Fultz.
Yeah. So for Fultz, what do you guys think about that situation?
It's very, very sad.
That is the
I feel
weirdest thing
bad,
that's
yeah.
ever happened. And I was just reading a book where something kind of similar happens. It was the art of fielding, and then the player, he makes an error, and it's like all in his head. And I think with Fultz, something like that kind of happened. But there's an interesting thing. I was going through YouTube. I was like looking up videos about Markelle Fultz, and I saw this thing about his agent was trying to hide a motorcycle accident that happened. And that's that's mad because that hasn't gotten any like mainstream coverage from ESPN or any sites, I don't think. But I was on the YouTube and it was saying that Markelle Fultz had some sort of motorcycle accident after the summer league his first year. And if you look at his summer league stats, he was really good, shooting well from three, all that. And then after that, going into the preseason, he was starting to be terrible from there. And they were thinking he had some sort of severe damage to nerve damage in his arm that made his arm uncomfortable when he was shooting. That's the reason why he had to sit out for most of last year. And then now he started trying to play again, but it's still, his mechanics got all screwed up in the process.
Well, I think what happened was, he had a shoulder injury. I don't know if it was the motorcycle crash or not, but something happened with his shoulder, and when it healed, it didn't feel the same as it used to feel, and he can't get it out of his head now.
Yeah.
Stuff like that doesn't always heal the same, especially when it's with the nerves. Like, I had arm surgery, and it still doesn't feel the same as before the surgery. I got used to it, but, that stuff's, it's hard. Especially when you're a guy who's played, as he probably has, taken as many shots as he had, to all of a sudden come back right before you're about to make your pro debut and have it feel different.
As the number one overall
as the number
pick.
one, all that
sad.
pressure, that's hard. You hate to see.
That's Joseph.
That's
Here, let's just keep going. I think the thing with Fultz that's interesting about Fultz is that he is he was so good before that, and it's kind of sad to see it because he's someone who obviously puts in a lot of work. I hate to see it.
Yeah.
And he puts in a lot of work, and I think he's just someone who truly cares about the game, and it's not only that screws him up, like the injury now, and it sucks that he's not a great player, but it could screw up his future contracts. Like, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars at stake here.
What is he gonna do after this?
I don't know. I think
Become a commentator.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe you should.
No, but like seriously, you can't get anything for him trade value wise. Like he's worth absolutely nothing.
And the thing that he's in rehab right now, and it's a 6-week thing. 6 weeks cannot help what he's going on through right now.
I don't know what it is because you were talking about the mental thing, and there was an article from the Players Tribune about Chris Davis and how he's not able to throw a baseball or something like that. And it's called, like, people in baseball call it the yips, where it's like dude, it's real, where it's like you get this mental block
That's what
and you're not able to do
was
it.
about.
Wait, you guys think that this is mental?
I don't know.
Well, it
honestly,
happens in baseball a lot. Like, I know people who, there's a guy who's a catcher, goes to college, has a rough couple first days, and then he can't make it throw to second base, and he can't catch anymore. He had to go to the outfield, where it's like, I don't know. It's like a mental block, and that's one of the hardest things in sports is mental. It's like, especially in baseball.
Hi, Mom. We're doing the podcast right now. That's my mom, guys. We're just gonna keep this rolling. I don't want to edit it. She was really nice to let us use it downstairs. So, what were you saying, Henry?
Just a mental aspect of sports is something that goes overlooked, and I'm not sure if it's physical, mental combination, but it seems like it's altered the way he's able to play basketball, and that's what he's getting paid for. So
Yeah.
it kind of sucks.
And I think everyone has had that situation. Obviously, not to this level or degree, because no one in here has experienced the kind of pressure in an athletic, athletic environment. But like everyone's felt like after you make a mistake or something, the next time you get the ball or something, you're nervous to make another mistake. So I think everyone, all the commentators out there, everyone who watches sports feel bad for Markelle Fultz, unless you're like a Sixers fan and you're just a jerk. But anyways, I think that's I feel bad.
MVP?
Let's move on to the MVP. Let's wrap it up here. Who you got? Everyone run through it and then we'll go back.
Man.
So you could do like top 3.
I don't even know, man.
Should we get 3 people and then you got to pick out of 3 people?
Let's just talk. Let's discuss 3 as a group.
Like Harden and Giannis are easily 2.
And
You think
why?
You think
For third or
you
not?
think Giannis?
I think
I would
Giannis
go.
is MVP.
I would go.
I thought it was Curry for a while.
Harden.
Then he got hurt.
Yeah, I said Curry for.
You
on
can't.
the old
No,
podcast. on
here's what
SoundCloud,
I'm
I
saying,
said
bro.
that.
Nobody on the Warriors is gonna win MVP until one.
Harden.
I mean, if Curry was healthy.
Harden, LeBron.
He's at like what 29.
But if they're the
games?
best player in the league,
Harden, LeBron,
I don't
and that's
really
not how the thing with basketball is. Like last year, LeBron was the best player in the league.
by far.
Well,
but-
it's not just basketball, but yeah.
Yeah, but they don't let the best player like LeBron's especially because I don't think you've had someone in baseball where they've been very.
Trout, what?
The voter fatigue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That is true, Mike Trout. Okay, but I would say my top three right now would be Kawhi, LeBron, and
LeBron.
who else do we have?
Harden, LeBron.
And Harden.
You can always say LeBron. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's
I'm
like
just saying. Like for me, I think
it's like the
Giannis,
sexy pick
Kawhi.
right now.
Oh,
LeBron
oh.
because he's a
Hot take?
LeBron is a hot take. LeBron is a sexy pick to win MVP because he's
you're right.
at the Lakers. If they go deep into the playoffs, like they're not supposed to vote on how people do in the playoffs.
Don't they
But
go before the playoffs?
They
Yeah.
vote before the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what they tell you.
well, anyways, but I think LeBron could win it if they go deep enough. And then I would say,
To Henry's point about Giannis, he's averaging 26, 12 and a half, and 6 right now.
So
But
that's
AD has
my
better
vote.
numbers
That's
than
my
him.
vote.
Does he?
AD has better numbers, but AD team is
He's
doing
not winning.
terrible. He's
I
not
think
winning.
winning is
Winning
important.
is important.
For the NBA.
I like Kawhi though. Like
Kawhi,
I really like
He's got
Kawhi.
both sides of the ball, but so does Giannis.
Like
That's-
who I would vote for if I was someone who got to vote on this, I would choose Kawhi.
I probably choose
Kawhi's
Kawhi.
27, 8, and 3.
I mean, and it's
What's
like
their record right now?
yeah,
They're
they're
second in the thing. They're half a game behind the Bucks. I don't know what they're.
They have to win.
Bucks are doing really well.
but
Bucks record is nice.
I don't know. Kawhi's like it's kind of quiet. Like you don't hear necessarily about him every night, but
Kawhi.
he's just like consistent and he's scoring better than he ever has. And I think defense it doesn't get enough focus from the voters, and he's like one of the best defenders in the NBA. So
Yeah.
James Harden's averaging 33 points a game right
It's
But-
interesting that he's playing.
33,
So
yeah.
but he
Like,
does-
he's
he's
on
on
How
one
many
side.
shots does he take?
Yeah, how-
that's like his.
what are his
He's shooting 44 from the floor,
in 38 from
39 from threes.
Wow, he didn't even
Ain't
shoot
bad.
that well from three
Ain't
last
bad,
year.
but I mean,
Well, 37 is good, but
yeah,
I wonder-
It takes a ton of shots, and he also goes to the free throw line a lot. And I mean,
I mean,
obviously it's good to go to the free throw line,
He
but
shoots,
you're missing
yeah.
possessions right there too.
well, I was gonna look through the defense ratings right now just to see. I mean, to be honest, I don't really think many people who vote on the MVP really look at defense at all.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like it's something like. I don't know. For me, if I was voting, I'd take it into
Wow.
consideration. I mean,
think
the
you
fact
have to.
Harden's won MVP proves
Westbrook-
that they don't.
Westbrook is third in defensive rating. I did not know that. That's wow.
I mean, it's hard to do a defensive rating for basketball though, because there's so like I didn't play basketball.
If you
I mean,
get
there's-
switched on a pick and roll,
there's so much
Yeah.
there's so much you do on defense that just helps a team as a whole. Like
Yeah,
everybody looks
it's
at
like
on,
positioning
block
and stuff.
shots.
everybody looks at on ball defense like block shots and steals and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But that's
That's
not
just-
even close to what goes into playing defense. It's being there, like making the right switches, being able to help your team, being
or
able to
making
help
someone
being able to
who's
play help
shooting the
defense.
ball
Do they, like,
feel
not have metrics
like
for
if you're able to alter someone's shot
Mental game, yeah.
any way, like that's important to your team, even if it's not necessarily a block. Well, whether you close out and you're able to get in front of someone when they're shooting a three, or you're able to put pressure on them in the paint, it's
Yeah.
like that affects, and maybe it doesn't result in a block, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah, I mean,
alters
being
the
able to
shot.
contest without fouling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah. The thing that's special about Kawhi is just his ability to do stuff on both ends. Because we all know Harden is just a terrible defender. Like he does not even contribute really on the defensive end. And LeBron's actually defense has been a lot better this year.
But that's because
but it's still inconsistent because there's games like did anyone see the clip on like Bleacher Report or ESPN where he just stuck his leg out when like a dude dribbled past him?
Yeah.
LeBron.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can.
No, but you can't-
Shut up and
You
dribble.
can't complain about LeBron defense during the regular season. We're so past that. It's like, you know, he's saving himself for the playoffs. He's been doing this for years now, and it's like I don't even want to.
His defensive rating is still like 32nd in the league, which is
I don't.
insane.
I don't really care about LeBron defensive stats. I don't care about them when he gets to the playoffs.
All right, so do you guys want to each go down to end it off with your pick to win MVP? Who you think should win MVP, and then who do you think the
At this
voters will
stage,
vote for?
at this stage in the season, if the season ended today,
I don't know. I mean, you can. I probably gotta go. I don't know. I'd probably go Giannis right now. I mean, if they're the best team in the East and he's playing the way he's playing, I mean, I don't know. It's also
say it,
I don't know, it's kind of hard to pick an MVP out of the East just because how much tighter the competition at the top is in the West.
Cool.
But I don't know. I still think Giannis is the MVP right now.
I think Giannis as well, and I think if they voted, it'd probably be Giannis. But I mean, he makes a good point about the West and the competition level.
I would say Giannis for the voters because he's obviously has the most wins in the East right now, and then he's another sexy pick for an MVP because he's never like won any sort of awards, and people are kind of saying, hey, it's his time to make that kind of mark. And he's carrying his team, so. And then my pick would be Kawhi because he adds that aspect to the defensive end, and he's changed so much in Toronto in terms of just mentality too.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely changed the culture of that team. Like
it was good under DeRozan, but they were the baby
They
dinosaurs.
always won a lot of games, but you
Also
never
new
looked at
coach.
that team as a team that could really
Do anything.
win
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
It's new coaching too, right?
Yeah.
But the coach was really good. I was a
Yeah,
student.
Dwayne Casey's really
He's a
good.
butch.
You got yours?
I would say for me, not a little disclaimer, not a huge basketball guy, but I'd say Kawhi, I think should win, and I think Harden will win again, based for the voters.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. You wanna go, Graham? No.
Come on. What's your sexy pick?
I got all these names up here.
I don't know.
Ron Baker.
Yeah, Ron Baker for MVP. Let's go, baby.
All right, I think we're cutting it there. Ron
Yeah.
Baker.
wait. Who is Kwame Brown for MVP? All right.
Is that a trick question?
I guess we'll end the podcast there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Go check me out on Instagram.
Yeah.
Everything sports.
The sexy-
No. At the Fergie Time.
No.
At the Fergie Time podcast. Go check it out. Lots of great content there.
Sexy pick.
Sexy pick. Links up
And
there.
I'm looking to do more podcasts, so please DM me so we can arrange times with different people. Thank you guys for coming on. And
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And you guys want to anything else? And I'm gonna be looking to have another Premier League podcast with Graham because we haven't done Premier League in a
I'll
while.
slide for that one.
Yeah, Kyle will be there.
I'll slide as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the league that's premiere.
I'll work the camera.
All right. Thank you guys for watching and peace.
Like,
Yeah.
subscribe.